Buy to let, thatched, commercial. We're your high street insurance brokers for all types of insurance. Avoid faceless internet firms.
High House Insurance, do it face to face.
See Neil and the friendly team at High Street Selsey.
High House Insurance, do it face to face.
Or call Selsey 606 552.
Hello, this is Mary Kennedy. Welcome to this week's programme. After I've run through a selection of what's on in Selsey over the next week, John will talk about volunteers, Nick has an update on first steps, Thea's poem this week is How Can That Be My Baby? And David has interviewed Teresa at the Liquid Merchant. Lynn has a recipe for fish pie, and Giles has gardening tips for March. Then an interview with Sam Tate about Selsey Works. So, what's on in Selsey this week? On Wednesday 19th of March there will be a quiz night at the Viking Club in aid of pancreatic cancer action. Ladies in Contact, Link, have their monthly meeting on the 20th of March at 7:15 and Monica Lucas will be talking about the beauty of spring. Ladies of all ages are welcome. Details from Mary Grantham on 604718. The Crafty Natter Club meets in the Methodist Church Hall on the first and third Wednesdays of the month from 2 till 4 p.m. It costs £1. Details from Lisa Allinson on 601032. Tea dances take place at the British Legion every Friday from 1 till 3 p.m. Entry is £2. A new sensory arts project has now started at St Peter's Church, 10:30 to 12 o'clock on alternate Thursdays. And don't miss the new art exhibition at Selsey Works next to the Town Hall. Bob Hoare, a local caricaturist, has a selection of his works that's open for the next fortnight. And some advance notice, don't miss Selsey Community Choir's second concert. That will be at the Selsey Centre on Wednesday the 2nd of April at 7:30. And further ahead still, Seikos will present Calamity Jane at the Academy from the 9th till the 12th of April. Details of all these events, plus lots more, can be found in the March copy of Selsey Life, which is available at many shops throughout the town. Over to John.
Hi there. Selsey Internet Radio are looking for volunteers who are computer literate to edit our audio files with Audacity, a free download package. Support and training will be available, and it would suit someone who may be housebound. For further details, please email john.fletcher@selseytowncouncil.gov.uk. Thank you.
Thank you. And to Nick.
Hello, this is Nick Jones, Selsey Internet Radio. Last week I was talking to Emma concerning the First Steps nursery school, which has now decided that they can no longer continue and they will be finishing at the end of July. I'm now with Lisa, who has been appointed as chairman of a working committee who are hoping to take over the running of the nursery school. Now, the nursery school is going to change its name, obviously, and I believe the name that's being mooted at the moment is the Community Nursery. So, Lisa, what do you think? Would you like to tell us about how things are going and what you're doing?
Yes, we had a meeting last night, actually, with regards to the setting up of the community nursery. Obviously, time is against us, and we have put together a business plan, which we hope to present to the council. We need, hopefully, the council to be able to give us the go-ahead ASAP, as we've only got a 3-month window to be able to get this up and going. And as any business person will know, that it's going to be very, very tight.
So First Steps will be coming out when?
They've given notice to say that they will cease as a nursery on the 11th of July.
11th of July, yes.
Yeah. So, as you can imagine, all of the working mothers who use the nursery for the care for their children, and also the mothers that use it for holiday club for up to the age of 8, I think it is at the moment, are all thinking, what on earth am I going to do?
Yeah.
As an employer myself in the village, it has a knock-on effect for me as an employer, and then my staff will struggle to find childcare during the summer months, which is a very busy time for us. Obviously, Bun Leisure is going to be very busy,
Yep.
and they'll have the same problem with their staff. If their childcare goes, then what are they going to do?
Now, we've got 2 other nurseries in Selsey at the moment, is that right?
That's correct.
So they're not in a position to be able to take all the overflow from, or the losses from, the First Steps then?
No, my understanding is they're actually full. So there is, First Step closes and nothing else replaces it, then there will be several, I think it's 63 families.
So that's a large shortfall, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's vital really, that for the First Steps nursery area is going to be replaced with another one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if for the economy within Selsey, for businesses within Selsey, for the travelling on the road, to have to go to Chichester for childcare, it's got to happen. The committee that has formed, fortunately, they're all working mums.
Yeah, tell us about the committee.
Well, we're all working mums. I run a company myself in the village. I employ 18 staff. There's Emma Russell, she runs her own business, ISO Quality Management. There's Rosie Jones, who's a VAT consultant, Sam Tate, everybody knows Sam,
Yep.
and also Joe, who has some childcare experience in running nurseries. So we're a very strong team. We're very, very lucky that we have, every one of us has a different skill set.
And you've all got business experience.
We all have business experience, and we all run successful businesses, which is key, obviously. If we didn't, then...
Yeah.
So we can all see that the nursery, A, can run at a profit, B, offer a service to the community that is vital for all sectors of the community, and hopefully to be able to provide childcare in the long term that is not as expensive as perhaps what First Steps is offering at the moment. So supporting the community in every way, financially, looking after the children, making sure they're happy, and also putting back something into the community too.
And is it right that in a few months' time there'll be another age group, 2-year-olds, who will be being financed, which will be included in nursery schooling?
Absolutely. So there's 2-year-olds, as of September I believe it is, that funding will be given to, so they'll have free places at nurseries. Where they're going to go? If the other nurseries in the village are full, as they are, there is nowhere for them to go. So for our children of Selsey, it's vital that this happens. But as I say, we are so up against it with the time to be able to open something. For instance, Ofsted, it takes 25 weeks for the registration to come through. So the committee have made a decision that we're going to pay for our own Ofsted out of our own pockets,
right?
So that we can get that ball running straight away. So that if the council could give us the go-ahead and say, yeah, okay girls, off you go, then we're on the...
Well, this is obviously very positive, and it's good to hear that something's been done, because I'm sure a lot of mothers are very worried about what's happening in Selsey. With the increase in numbers, which is going to happen, there's going to be a call for more nursery spaces rather than less, isn't there?
Absolutely. And especially with people not encouraging people to move away. For instance, the high street. People going to Chichester for their childcare, where they're going to shop. They'll shop in Chichester. If they work in Selsey, their childcare's in Selsey, they're going to stay in Selsey and spend their money in the high street. So it's a win-win-win every way you look at it.
Absolutely. Well, Lisa, thank you very much indeed. I'll keep in contact with you, and we'll come on to talk again when you hear some more information about what's going on, and we'll wait and see what the next steps will be.
Okay, hopefully it'll be very soon.
I hope so. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Next is Thea's poem.
How can that be my baby? How can that be my son? Standing on a rugger field, more than 6'1". Steam is rising from him, his legs are streaked with blood, and he wears a yellow mouthguard and a face that's black with mud. How can that be my baby? How can he look like that? I used to sit him on my knee and read him Postman Pat. Those little ears with cotton buds I kept in perfect shape. But now they're big and purple, and they're fastened back with tape. How can that be my baby? When did he reach that size? What happened to his wellies with all the little froggy eyes? His shirt is on one shoulder, but it's hanging off the other. And the little baffled person at his feet is me, his mother.
Thank you. And over to David.
David Kennedy here for Selsey Internet Radio. I'm here in the Liquid Merchant with Teresa, the owner.
Yeah.
And just a short interview. Now, Liquid Merchant opened last year?
Last June, yeah.
Last June. And you've already won how many prizes at the Selsey Business?
We just won 3 awards at the Selsey Business Awards, which I was very pleased about, very honoured and chuffed. I have to confess to being so excited, running up on stage like I'd won the X Factor, but it was quite a thing. It was.
Yeah, it must be
I was very pleased.
difficult to start a new business in a place like Selsey.
Yeah, Selsey can be a funny thing. I was born here, so I know what it's like and how hard it is. I've had a hairdressing salon for years, and now we've moved into other things. So it can be really, really difficult. But I think it's just trying to give people what they want and give them choice and something different, pique their interest, rather than having something sort of standard and ordinary.
Yeah, I mean, when
different.
I first came in here for coffee, and my wife, we were chatting to the girl behind the counter and was saying, you know, it could be really nice in the summer if you get some tables outside and you can have the sort of, because it's a little bit enclosed.
Yeah.
It's not like it's a pavement cafe.
No, that's
It's
right.
going to
It's
be
like
slightly-
a little courtyard almost.
Yeah.
Well, our plan C is to add decking out there because it's a bit all Humpty Bumpty and not very nice. So that will create a really nice, proper outside seating with the parasols and everything. Because we opened sort of late-ish really in the summer last year. So, and you know, we were trying to get everything up and running then. But for this summer, I really want to get geared up and.
Yeah. Have you noticed much of a difference between trade during the summer bits that you open and now over the winter?
Well, the winter, yes. I mean, obviously the winter dies down. We've had the most awful weather, haven't we? So nobody even wants to set foot outside the door. But even then, you get, you know, the people dashing in between rain showers to come in. We had a good summer, even though we still hadn't really properly advertised and promoted ourselves. Because, you know, with so much to do all at once, it was quite a lot to contend with, and we just sort of threw ourselves in there and you know, saw what happened really.
I noticed you've already expanded from when we first came in here, where you just had the shop front, and now you're opened up right into the back there.
Yeah.
And you say Plan C is the outside.
It's outside,
Anything
yeah.
further after that? Or
Well, we're trying to build on the actual coffee side, which was why we expanded into there with the drinks, to incorporate more indoor seating, because obviously it was all right in the summer, but we only had the high bar stools then, so you know, people wanting to come and sit inside, there wasn't really a lot of space. So by creating that area now, and I think being able to sit and look at wines and while you're sipping your coffee is quite different than looking at a wall. So yeah, that's the only thing we're doing. We haven't got any other plans for expanding because we haven't got more space really now.
no. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you for
and we'll look forward to coming in and having more coffee with you.
Yes, watch this space.
Thank you. Now for Lynn's fish recipe.
Right, we're all back in the snack shack. We've got Lynn here from Tumbling Rice, and we're going to be talking about a fish pie.
So fish pie, your recipe then, salt and pepper, 1 kilogram of potatoes. Now which potatoes are we going to use?
Oh, possibly Mary's Piper.
And where are we going to get them from?
John the Veg?
There you go, John the Veg Man. 1 kilogram of potatoes, 1 carrot, 2 sticks of celery, 150 grams of good quality, 150 grams of good quality cheddar cheese.
Right.
I like a mature cheddar. 1 lemon, half a fresh red chilli, 4 sprigs of parsley, 300 grams of salmon, 700 grams of smoked haddock. Now you could, in the supermarkets quite a lot now, they sell fish packs, don't they, of all these little bits of different fish for fish pie. If you're going to go that way, then make sure that you've got about 700 grams of 750 grams.
Okay.
You need a little drizzle of olive oil, a handful of spinach, all right? 2 tomatoes quartered, and 125 grams of raw prawns.
All right.
Okay. So preheat your oven to 200 centigrade, 400 Fahrenheit, gas mask 6.
Right.
And bring a large pan of water to the boil. Peel your potatoes and cut them into chunks. And once the water is boiling, put your potatoes in there and cook for around 12 minutes so that they're just slightly soft in the middle.
Okay.
All right? When you knife them, they're soft. In a deep baking tray, grate the celery and the carrot and the cheddar on the coarse side of the grater.
Okay.
All right? Use the fine side to grate the lemon and the zest. So the zest is just the peel of the lemon, very finely grated.
All right.
All right. Finely grate or chop the chilli and finely chop the parsley and add to the tray. Cut the fish to bite-sized pieces and add it to the tray with the prawns. Squeeze the juice from the zested lemon over the top.
Yeah.
Make sure you don't get any pips in it. Nobody wants a mouthful of pips, do they? Drizzle it with olive oil and season it. Sea salt and black pepper.
Yeah.
If you want spinach at this time, you can add it. You don't have to add the spinach to this recipe. I do find that it's one way of getting the spinach down the children because they actually like fish pie.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can make little faces on the top of the,
yeah.
So they do like it. So stick some spinach and your tomatoes in it, then add them there at that point. Drain your potatoes off, add a dash of olive oil into your potatoes. Virgin olive oil is best for this one.
Yeah.
And then mash it and then spread that all over. Add some sea salt and black pepper and spread it all over your fish pie. Place it in the oven for about 40 minutes until it's gone crispy on the top and quite golden. Some of the fluff it up with a fork so that some of it goes crispy and golden. You could put cheese on top of that if you wanted. Some people do, some don't.
I would.
Yeah, why not? And serve with a lovely leafy green salad.
Okay.
Fish pie.
That sounds brilliant to me then.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Lovely, lovely.
I'm going to try that.
You do that.
Thanks
Take
a lot,
care.
Lynn.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Lynn. That sounds delicious. Now, Giles' gardening tips.
Giles, we're still in March.
Yeah, we are. We're getting sort of second half now, really, and walking around in the woodlands around this area where there are lots of them. Wild daffodils are very prominent now, which is lovely to see. Wild primroses and wild violets.
Yeah,
they're all very much looking good. In fact, this year I think probably things will be quite early because we've had very little frost over. I know we've had all the water and wind, but we've actually had very little frost, little or none. So therefore, things are tending to come on.
I don't suppose any of the water companies dare cause a hose.
Oh, I bet they will. Oh, I bet they will. You wait. I bet they will. I think we'll have a bet on that. Yeah. Ponds are alive now with tadpoles. They're all appearing. Did you know, it's an interesting fact, primrose leaves are wrinkled and turned outwards. So when water runs down the wrinkle, it goes outside and not onto the buds. That's interesting. That's wild primroses now I'm talking about. So have a look at them next time. Anyway, spring is indeed here with all that we hold dear.
Yeah.
That's my summing up at this time of year. In the garden, sow marrows, cues, melons singly in pots for early planting. That's if you just want a few.
Yeah.
Check ties of all climbing plants, and nail or tie to any bushes or anything that will need to be more secure. I was going to say in the high March winds, but we've already had high winds, so people presumably hopefully will have already done all that securing and tying.
And probably replace the garden bales too.
Absolutely, yes. Bird treats, which is quite interesting. Some of the things they really especially like. Suet. Thrushes and wrens love suet.
Yeah.
Bacon rind and cheese are very Robins and tits love that.
Yeah.
Dried fruits are mainly liked by blackbirds, robins and thrushes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to attract a particular type of bird,
Yeah.
you're probably trying to remember a little bit of this. Cut apple pieces attract starlings, chaffinches and bullfinches.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's just a little bit of what I call useless information that everyone wants to bear it in mind though. French marigolds, put a few if you're growing cabbage and they'll keep whitefly away.
Mm-hmm.
So, and boiled and mashed ivy leaves are excellent when drained off for cleaning black silk.
Really?
So if people have a problem cleaning black silk, boil and mash some ivy leaves and then drain it off and use it for that reason. Tomatoes, which I was a grower of for many years, so I've got an affiliation with tomatoes, were originally, I'm sure a lot of people know, were called red apples in Italy.
Yeah.
And considered poisonous in Britain until the early 1800s. You've got to know, talk and sing to plants. You are giving them it's not just a joke, you are giving them a booster, because every time you talk or you sing, you're actually exhaling carbon dioxide, which they like. So that we'll wind out on that. You can go out singing and shouting at the trees or shrubs now.
So maybe, and I presume we're now going to call you Prince Charles.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that's what I was hoping you'd say that.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Giles.
Cheers.
See you next week.
Cheers.
Thank you, Giles. It's nice to be able to be out in the garden again, isn't it? Now I'll pass you over to Nick, who has been talking to Sam Tate.
This is Nick Jones, Selsey Internet Radio. I'm here today with Sam Tate and Sue, the administrator of Selsey Works. I'm sure you've heard this has just opened on the 31st of January, and I'm going to ask them how things are going, weaknesses, strengths, and what they see in the next few weeks going to happen. Sam, let's start with you.
I think that on the whole we're really pleased with how it's gone for the first month. We've had more people through the door than we perhaps anticipated that we'd have.
Excellent.
We've been keeping people very busy. I would say things that have gone particularly well. George Smith, the business development advisor from Chichester District Council, is keeping very busy. We're encouraged by the number of businesses that he's talking to and people that are thinking of starting businesses. The employment support side, I think, is going very well. We're getting a lot of people coming through the door who seem to be finding the help that they need here. They're telling us the feedback that we're getting is that we're helping them. So that's been very encouraging.
I see lots of job vacancies on the board there.
There are, and that's nice. We seem to be starting to be the first place that local employers are calling now when they've got vacancies to advertise and when they're looking for people. So again, that's really encouraging for us. So we're that side, I would say, is going fairly well. As always, with projects that involve multiple partner agencies, there have been a few teething problems. We've had issues with some of the providers not sending staff down when they said they would, not informing us that people aren't coming, which is always difficult for us to then manage when we've got appointments booked. So that's still finding its way. We're still levelling that one out. We've had issues with one of our training providers who've got staff shortages themselves at the moment, so we've had to postpone one of our courses, which has been unfortunate, but again we're sort of keenly trying to get that rescheduled as soon as possible. And I would say actually the response to some of the courses has been much better than we would have necessarily anticipated.
What sort of courses are we talking about?
Things like how to use your iPad, how to use your smartphone, things like that have been very popular. We're getting lots of people signing up for those.
Excellent.
So that's really encouraging.
And do
as
these
well.
cost money or?
Some of the courses do, although where we do charge a fee, we always try and keep it as low as possible.
Excellent.
It's not done to raise a profit, and many of them are able to be offered free, particularly the ones that are supporting people into work and things like that. So
because this is a non-profit making organisation.
it's completely non-profit making. We're what's known as a social enterprise, so all we're doing is basically covering our costs, and if we do make any money it gets ploughed back into the project and extending the services that we're offering.
Good. Sue, what about you?
Oh, well, really, I can only echo what Sam said. We've had a lot more people come through the door than we first thought we would, and in fact we kind of have a monthly target we're working towards, and we exceeded that in the first 8 days, which was great. And around about 60% of the people coming through the door are job seekers, so we're working hard to really support them in very practical ways. So not just finding a job, but helping them make sure they know how to go to an interview, get their CV really up to date, and how to actively search for a job as well.
Great.
In terms of the courses, so the iPad course in particular, which we were hoping to run this week, we were having to turn people away, which is really encouraging.
So it's not happening this week then, but it will be happening shortly.
It will be happening shortly. We're just looking at rescheduling some dates at the moment. The training provider that was going to deliver it to us, they're a staff member down at the moment. So they've got a few staffing issues themselves, which we're ironing out. But as soon as we have a date, we will be contacting everyone that we've got booked onto that course and rescheduling.
And what about the pop-up shop? Any pop-up shops at the moment?
Well, that's, I think, was always going to be the challenge. As we know, we're not in a high footfall area. Being at slightly the other end of the main shopping precinct makes it difficult.
Yes.
We're working with lots of little local people at the moment, crafters, and we're hoping to put together a Mother's Day event. So in the week leading up to Mother's Day, we're trying to get some great little craft items, good giftable items, as well as having some craft providers come in on the Saturday, so children can come in and make some fabulous little gifts for mum, and build a sort of event around that. So we've become a destination point. But at the moment we've been concentrating on getting some local artists in, which are great. So we've got another chap in, Lawrence Crisp, who's a local artist. He's lived in the peninsula his whole life, and he does watercolours, maritime watercolours. And we've had some nice interest on that, actually. A lot of people stopping, popping in, looking, which is great.
Yes, so you've got an art display at the moment.
We've got an art display, an exhibition and sales. So Lawrence actually sells his pieces of art as well.
Fine. So it all's going well?
All going well, but it can always go better. So again, we're always just looking at extending perhaps services that we could offer. So if people think that there's things they'd like delivered here that we're not doing at the moment, let us know and we'll see what we can do. Similarly, if there's any courses and things that people would like to attend that they're interested in us putting on, let us know and we'll try and find somebody to deliver those for people. And if people have other ideas for what we should be doing with the space, then tell us. It really is here to be a community asset, to be a resource for the whole community. So we need feedback from people on how they want the space used and what they want to see happening here.
So, people of Selsey, if you haven't been into the workshop, which is at 53 High Street, come now. There's a beautiful art display. There's lots of things to look at and see. Find out what's actually going on and come and join in. Sam, Sue, thank you very much for your time. I'll be back and seeing you probably about 6 weeks' time to see how things are going, and we'll keep a regular update to all you listeners of the Selsey Internet Radio. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Thank you. That's all for this week. Thanks for listening. Hope you'll listen in again next week. Bye for now.